Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Ross Benjamin, your host, as always. In these midweek videos, I'm joined by Mr. Chip Chirimbes of the aplay.com, also chipwins.com, whatever address you prefer. Chipper, one of the best handicappers in the country, has been around forever and a day. And I mean that respectfully because he looks pretty damn good for his age. So do I, by the way. You know, a guy asked me the other day, Chip, he says, do you use Botox? How about your hair? Do you use, buddy, can't somebody look good for their age, for crying out loud? Anyway, enough of that. Hey, Chipper, it was a crazy week in the NFL last week. A lot to talk about. But how you doing, first of all?
I'm doing great. I was a little chilly today. It was down to 81 degrees. So I had to watch out. But the surf was up and I had a great day, played a little golf. And I needed the time off, clear my head. You know, the NFL hit two of the top three best bets over the weekend, but lost the number one play, which was New England. But ended up having a winning week because Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, we had big winners. And, you know, when you're winning those games, you end up in a plus for the week. So that's the way my Sunday went, my NFL went, and I was quite happy with it. And we even had the game we're going to talk about here with Cincinnati and the Ravens, and that was an easy winner for us last Sunday.
Yeah, that Monday night game was a terrific one. You know, much to my chagrin, I didn't use the game because I don't like getting involved emotionally in games. I did use Buffalo the week before, though, against Kansas City, but I just thought, like yourself, when it went from 3.5 to 5.5 and all the public money that was going down on Buffalo, it had all signs of Tennessee coming up big in that game. Having said that, they still could have won the game, you know, in the last 23 seconds. And even if they won that game, you would have covered anyway.
Well, I rebounded with that game, using it as a best bet, my megabuck play after the disappointing play with New England on Sunday. But I really felt strongly about it, and you know, Buffalo could have won and not even covered the number if they push it in, they win by 4, and I would have been happy either way. I'm sorry for you and the Bills fans, but that just makes great fodder for the NFL, and it makes it even more interesting along the way, because now all the people that thought that the Bills were just going to run roughshod through the NFL schedule, we know that doesn't happen. And you know, except the Cowboys are 6-0 against the number. What are we going to do about that?
Yeah, America's team, and it usually, like you alluded to in our college football broadcast, that you said that there's certain teams that the public likes to bet. Well, in the NFL, it's definitely Dallas. In any event, you know, going back to that game, all I could say is this. Look, it reminds me of the gut-wrenching loss against Arizona last year for the Bills, in which Kyler Murray threw that Hail Mary. After that loss, the Bills then went on to win, I believe, they went 15-3. I think they won their last 10 regular season and the postseason before falling to Kansas City in the playoffs. Yeah. So I could see a similar scenario, especially if you look at the Bills' schedule going forward. It's definitely not a strong one. In any event, Chip, we have a free pick each for the viewers, and that comes in Sunday games. That would be Sunday, October 24th. Before we get to that free pick, by the way, folks, our YouTube channel here, you see college football and the NFL videos every week with me and Chip. You also see on Monday and Thursday, I put out a video with Doug Upstone from DocSports.com. Getting a lot of views these days, and I really, really appreciate your support. And Chip does as well as the rest of the guys on the broadcast. But it costs you absolutely nothing to subscribe. If you haven't done so already, folks, just hit that subscribe button. Nobody's going to bother you. Nobody's knocking on your door for money. It doesn't cost you anything. And then even if you go one step further and hit that notification bell, you're going to get alerted right away upon any of our sports betting videos that goes up on this channel. So again, folks, and at the end of the video, don't forget, give the old guys a like. Chipper, what do you got for us as a free pick on Sunday, the 24th?
I got an interesting game on Sunday. We had the Cincinnati's traveling to Baltimore, and we're coming off that big win with the Ravens. You had it on top. I had it in my number 2 spot, and the Ravens just dominated that game against the Chargers. And, you know, they did it running the ball because they have one of the best runners in football. He happens to play quarterback. And but these two teams are similar in this regard. they both are great against the run defensively. Cincinnati's only allowing 331 yards per game altogether, and offensively they're only getting 344. So that looks like a conservative number, and it doesn't look like they're an explosive team that's going to score a lot of points. The Ravens have gone under 7 of their last 9 at home, and against the rush, they're only allowing 82 yards a game. Against the run, Cincinnati's only allowing 90 yards per game. So these two teams, whose strongest points are on the ground, are going to be bumping heads going head to head. As a matter of fact, on the road in the last 22 games, the Bengals have gone under the total 15 times. They've lost 5 and had 2 pushes, and they're 5-1 to the under this season. After an opening game where the game went over, they've gone under 5 straight times. I think this plays to the under, these two teams. I just think their makeup and the way the Ravens just dominated play last week, the way they put up all those points. And I think they're going to look for a little bit more conservative game plan this week. And I see this game staying under the total, Bengals and Ravens staying under.
If you saw me looking at my book, it's because I wanted to see the current total. Not that I didn't want to pay attention to my buddy, because I'm always interested in what he has to say for obvious reasons. He's a winner. The total in this game is 47.5. So Cincinnati, Baltimore under 47.5. By the way, folks, the Cincinnati Bengals are 4-2. Think about it. Let that sink in for a second. Anyway, here's my play. Atlanta at Miami. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. The ship is rocking and rocking and rocking in Miami. A team that was expected to contend in the AFC East. And they win their opening game at New England, and everybody's happy. They take on Buffalo the following week, and we're going to get a 2-game lead on Buffalo right out of the chute, and they get blitzed 35-0. We're going to recover. Well, they haven't recovered, and they hit rock bottom last week. They lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's right, the 0-5 Jacksonville Jaguars in a game played in England, and now they have to come back on a normal week's rest after playing in Europe. Okay. And they're taking on an Atlanta Falcons team that's also played in Europe in their last game, but their game was 2 weeks ago, Chip.
Right.
So they're coming in with rest. This line opened with Miami as a short favorite. Atlanta's now a short favorite. Don't get caught up in thinking that's a betting move. It's not, because as we speak, the reports are coming out, credible reports coming out of Miami and Houston are telling everybody that Deshaun Watson is very close to being moved in a trade to Miami, and Tua is part of a 3-way deal involving those teams. So I got to believe with that line movement, there's even more credibility to what we're reading. And if that's the case, it's going to be Jacoby Brissett. And Jacoby Brissett's a nice backup, but he's not going to lead you to the promised land. And Miami's got some internal issues right now. A lot of people are saying they're playing their defense and they're coaching their defense by trying to put square pegs in round holes. And there's issues there. And you got to believe you can't be too confident when you've lost 5 in a row, right? Atlanta, on the other hand,
Ross,
2 of the last 3.
I don't mean to step on you, but I know that from being down here that they're a day behind in their practices. They usually have their media day, our press conference on Tuesday. They pushed it back to today on Wednesday, and today was their first day of practice. And so they've missed the day coming from England. I think they're hurting psychologically off that game. And like you said, I know that they're really not happy with what they have at quarterback. Now, Tua threw for over 300 yards last week, and they still were not happy with his performance because he makes a lot of very poor decisions and some very bad throws. And that's why maybe they're talking about this trade right now. And I think that you may be right. I think the personnel, the players really are in doubt as to who's leading, who's going to be their leader.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's not Tua's fault that you traded up to get him at number 5 overall. Okay. You drafted a quarterback that high in a first round where you had 5 picks in the first round, if I'm not mistaken, that year, Chip, 4 or 5. Remember, they loaded up with at least 3. Okay. So whatever the case may be, they had multiple first round picks, and they decided to go with Tua. And from what I understand, and I've discussed this with you, is the only one who was on board to get Tua with their first overall pick was the owner. The rest of the staff and the scouts wanted to go with Justin Herbert. That's why owners should stay out of the mix, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, you're paying these guys to because they know football. Anyway, I rest my case. Miami's a mess right now. I'm going with Atlanta here, minus the 2.5 against Miami. As a matter of fact, folks, if you can get less than minus 140 on the money line with Miami or Atlanta, excuse me, I would do that too. Okay. I would do that as my first option. Okay. If it's over minus 140, I would lay up to minus 3 with Atlanta in this game. I just think Miami right now, no confidence. The organization's an internal mess right now. And Atlanta's won 2 of their last 3. Atlanta's playing with rest. Miami, normal week again, and coming off a game in Europe. So, and like Chip said, they lost a day of practice too. I mean, you fly back from England, right? How many hours do you have? First of all, there's a 6-hour time difference. Anyway.
They've also come to the realization down here that although this team won 10 games last year, 7 of those 10 games they were outgained, and it was just, they were very, very fortunate. I think the Rams had like 500 yards against them, and they had 150, and they won the game by 21 points. And people are beginning to see that, it's like fool's gold. They really weren't as good as their record indicated last season.
And we mentioned that on several times in our podcast last year that Miami, they finished 10-6, but even way at 10-5, at 9-3, whatever they were, 9-4, they were a very deceiving 9-4.
Yeah,
because exactly what Chipper just said. It's not like they were putting up monster offensive numbers. It was one of those years that everything went their way. The ball bounced their way in terms of turnovers, block kicks for touchdowns, kick returns for touchdowns, pick sixes, scooping up a fumble and going all the way. There was a lot of plays that went Miami's way last year that aren't going that way this year. Okay. I will say this about Brian Flores. I got a lot of respect for the guy. Okay. He's obviously in disarray right now, but remember, this is a Miami team that started in his rookie campaign, meaning Flores, 0-7. And they were losing by astronomical numbers, and the team didn't quit on him. We'll see if the team quits on him now. I'm very interested to see this result here coming this week. I don't think they're going to be up to the task here. So I'm going to take Atlanta minus the 2.5, and Chip is going to take the Baltimore Cincinnati game under 47.5. Chipper, what do you got going on this week?
Well, of course, we're looking to come back big with another big time 8-play megabuck winner on Sunday. And like I said, Thursdays, Sunday nights, and Monday nights have been extraordinary for us. And we're looking to just continue that trend. Hit 2 of the 3 top plays last week. Those damn New England Patriots, they had to go do it to us. But otherwise, we had a great day. We had the Ravens. We had the late Sunday night game with with Seattle over Pittsburgh, and then against Buffalo Monday night. So 11-4 NFL standalone games, Thursday, Sunday night, and Monday night. It'd be worth your while just to load up on those games.
So you understand, folks, standalone games, games that are the only one going on at the time. Okay. It's 11-4 this year, 28-14 Chip was last year. What's that? 39-18?
Yeah, 39.
Do the math. I think it's a little over 70%. So my point being is, I know a lot of you out there, when you go a Thursday NFL, a Monday NFL, a Thursday college football, when it's the only game on the board, a lot of you go, I don't know who to pay to get their advice. This guy's hot. This guy. Why don't you go with the guy who's got a history of winning these types of situations? Okay. So again, I don't think people realize how tough it is to go 39-18 in a standalone game, because there's a lot of times I could say for myself, when I look at those standalone games, if I put it on the Sunday board, would I use that game or not? And the majority of times is no, So, I mean, for him to have that kind of record, it speaks volumes. That's why he's one of the best. He always will be one of the best. Anyway, you can find me at rbwins.com. Last week cashed in with my 10-star game of the month in the NFL on the Baltimore Ravens. New England cost me a winning day on Sunday, and we don't need to go rehash that over and over again. Again, I said this on my college football podcast, and I'll say it again. I've really struggled in football the last 3 weeks. Now, you know me, folks, I'm as confident as they come, and my confidence isn't shaken. I've had a rough 3 week run, and I could tell you right now, I have total confidence for the rest of the year that I'm going to go on a tear. And you watch, mark my words. I'm very confident that happening. Shame on you if you don't jump aboard and take advantage of that, because you can't keep a good man down, just like you can't keep Chip Chirimbes down. Anyway, until the next time, for Chip Chirimbes, I'm Ross Benjamin. Good luck and God bless, folks. Take care.